Alrighty, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's day 5 of Lobby Chat Limbo. More details on that. There's a little bit of breaking news when it comes to that story. As we take a look further on, we got the Phoenix Onions removed from the league after being assessed their 4th forfeit of the season. That's going to be a wild trip. And then finally, Discord has had an outage that really just halted everything we had going on today here in SPL. But yeah, welcome to SPL Post to Post, your main source of Slapshot and SPL related news. Let's just jump right into the action. Man, we got a lot to cover today. But first and foremost, Discord is out at the moment just to address the elephant in the room. They know about it. They're working towards fixing it. And, you know, they're just doing what they can. Right now, of course, you know, they mentioned on Twitter they're actively trying to fix this problem and to go outside. I personally was confused by this comment because I thought this place only existed in textbooks, kind of like Narnia. So to hear outside is a real place, it baffled me. I did not believe them for a second. I thought they were just writing fan fiction, like it was a Sonic meme on, you know, 4chan. But in reality, it might be a real place. I haven't seen it, so don't believe everything you read on the internet. Of course, if you take a look at their website, discordstatus.com, you can see that the API is the main issue here on the board. They figured it out. They cracked the code. They really know what Blue's Clues is all about right now, and so they're working to get this fixed. Engineers are working on it over at Discord's HQ. They went on to say, as part of the recovery, the root of the cause was also detected in our streaming service. A controlled restart was performed of this service, which would have caused a temporary disruption of streaming. This should be operating correctly at this time. Well, our server is still down, so do not fret. It will be up later on, and it's going to be a wild ride. But of course, you know, it'll be back sooner rather than later. And I mean, we just got to wait and see what happens. Keep an eye on their Twitter. I'm sure the Twitter is going to be the first place they update whenever they come to be. That's just at Discord on, you know, twitter.com if you want to go follow that out on their own realms. But yeah, that's the first headline out of the way. Let's take a look at yesterday's standings, yesterday's games played, and see what we got going over there. There's a lot of games last night, and there's a lot to cover. I'm going to use that transition because I really like it. I made it literally 5 minutes ago, and it worked out a lot better. I'll polish it up, but, you know, that's the main gist of it. But, yeah. You know, Slap 1 was by far, you know, I would have taken that cake any day over an NHL game. You know, Slapshot Rebounds, it's another flavor. It's just another flavor. If Irvion will let us rerun Slap 1 servers just for SPL, I will do it in a heartbeat. I'll put in any effort, any time I need to get it done. And let it be known here and foremost. I forgot to set up my backlighting. I probably looked like the villain from a Scooby-Doo cartoon. But, yeah, welcome back to the light side. First and foremost, here as we take a look at yesterday's games played, you know, Yosemite Grizzlies 4-9 lost to the Maui Monkeys. Maui Monkeys took a win off the Plymouth Plague 6-4 in the Pro Division. Orlando Otters took on the Yosemite Grizzlies last night at 9 p.m. Orlando Otters came out with a huge win there, 12-5. And then last night, the game we're going to focus on here in a few seconds, the Plymouth Plague taking a 6-4 victory off this Ocean City Typhoons, keeping them down there in the relegation spot. Plymouth Plague right now one of the top 3 teams of the Slapshot Premier League as a whole, and so we'll be keeping a close watch on them as we continue through the last week of the regular season. Of course, Maui Monkeys also playing against the Orlando Otters last night, 10-8 or 10-6. What number is that? I cannot see that. 10-6, the final score there. Maui Monkeys really had a field day last night, winning all 3 of their games, sweeping it out, and I think they got a few more here tonight. We'll get more into that here in a few seconds. But yeah, finishing that off of the week, or finishing off the games yesterday, the Orlando Otters 4, Ocean City Tsunami Typhoons 9. I will never not get those 2 teams confused. But yeah, we had 6 huge games. I casted 3 of these. Plymouth Plague, Ocean City Typhoons. Let's take a look more into the nitty-gritty of it. Taking a look at the shots per team. Ocean City hitting a lot more long-distance shots than the Plymouth Plague. Plymouth Plague not taking a shot in their own half of the court. Really just getting down and dirty with it. The far side shots of the ice. The neutral zone game really came in clutch last night for the Plymouth Plague. It really did God's work down there, Center Avenue. They scored most of their goals. Any dot you see on the screen with a black circle was one that ended up saved. Anything that's colored in, those are goals awarded. Yeah, Plymouth Plague taking their shots up close and personal. Ocean City Typhoons taking their shots along the walls, just getting whatever they can and taking whatever they were given last night. Ended up leading to a 6-4 loss for the Typhoons. But yeah, yeah, the server's much better in the slapshot rebound. Slap 1, I think it had more character to it. You had more personality behind the puck. I think that's partially because, this is my 2 cents, I think that's partially because mouse and keyboard was such a prominent control scheme compared to the controller base. Because where we have it right now, the meta is play controller, bump a lot, spin a lot. You can't get knocked off the puck because that's just how the game, you know, sees the controls. You hold up right on, you know, your right stick and you get that position. In the mouse, you have to move it to the right a certain amount. It's like cracking a safe whenever you want to rotate your player, and it's a guessing game whenever you have high ping. So a mouse and keyboard, kind of not the meta anymore. Instead, opting out for the controller base because of just the physicality you can have alone down there on the ice. But let's take a look at the standings as the day folded yesterday. We got a lot to go over. Pro standings right now. First place, the Maui Monkeys leapfrogging over the Pittsburgh Vipers and the Plymouth Plague last night with their 3 games won. They took the tie back to Pittsburgh, and they have the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh. Those 2 teams will be playing here during the last week. It will be an interesting one. I am very excited to watch it. Hopefully, I will be around for that one whenever it comes time to be. But I think Plymouth Plague and the Pittsburgh Vipers are playing tonight. I don't know if I'm casting, so I'm just going to put that out there right now. I might have stuff going on here tonight. It's a maybe. So if I'm not casting, I'm sorry. Hopefully we have another caster that'll step up to the bat. I'm skeptical about that, though. But yeah, Maui Monkeys taking a leap up over 2 teams, 2nd, 3rd place. And yeah, they're right now the undisputed champion of SPL so far. As we take a leap into the last week. I think they have 4 games left on the season. 18 games played in the regular season here in this division. Everybody plays everybody twice. The top 8 make the cut. The bottom 2 are pushed into the relegation picture. But taking a look down at the challenger standings next, here we have the New Jersey Noobs still on top as they have a hefty sum of points over top the Ontario Outliers. Outliers right now still only having 1 loss on the season, looking to keep it that way as we look to finish this one out in the next 8 days. Whatever division is finished with the regular season games by the end of Sunday, we'll just start the playoffs on Monday. If the emergency days are not going to get used, we're just going to start the playoffs early. This division and the Pro Division, I highly doubt we're going to get everything done by Sunday, so we might be, you know, allotting a lot more of a delayed picture whenever it comes to playoffs. But of course, playoffs this season going to be 2 weeks long, starting here next between Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, and going 14 days after that. And then we'll see how long the off season is. I have a lot of plans for the off season. We're still trying to figure out which ones we want to, you know, adapt and use, in which tournaments we want to run versus which ones are just not sought after. But yeah. Ontario or Ottawa Orbit taking a spot up into the 3rd place position. They have a chance to catch 2nd place. I think 2nd and 3rd is really the way to go. But of course, 1st place will be playing 4th place here in the Challenger Division. Winner of that best of 3 will move on to play 10th place, which right now is the West Virginia Orangutans. So if I was a Challenger team, I would be shooting for 1st or 4th place. Maybe I would throw it if I was in the middle of the pack. Maybe not. That's up for the teams to decide and try to, you know, game it as they can, because 1st place is already, you know, pretty much locked up. There's no way the Noobs are going to get knocked out of that spot unless the Ontario Outliers have, you know, a god run here during week number 6. I don't really see that happening. But yeah, 2nd and 3rd place will be playing each other in a best of 3. The winner of that game moves on to play 9th place of Pro. Right now, I think it's the Yosemite Grizzlies, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, then of course, bottom 4 teams also being pushed into the postseason, but this time it's not for a good reason. Both of them, all 3 of the lower teams that you see that are still in the division will be playing for their spot at the end of the season. Whoever has the best record in IM will be moving up into that 10th position there in the standings in spot of the Dover Dog Woofers. But it's going to be a tight race. I think the Challenger Promotional Series is what I'm looking to the most. Like I think that's where the best competition is going to be this off season, and I think it's going to be, you know, I think it's going to be great competition all around. It's going to be nail biters. It's going to be really tough. I'm looking forward to the Boston Baked Beans. If they can get out of their spot, they're only a game down from doing it. Edmonton Beauties, Midwest Monarchs right now tied for 6th place. One of them out of the spot, one of them in a relegation spot, and only 1 game down from them are the Boston Baked Beans. Boston having 4 more games in the regular season. Edmonton Beauties having one of the most games remaining here in the division. So things are looking in their favor. You know, Spinners, Beauty still have a chance to make playoffs. It's going to be a tough race, as it always is at the end of the season, for a last-ditch effort push. But that'll do it for the Challenger. Going into the intermediate conferences, we have 2 of them. You play everybody inside of your conference 2 times, play everybody outside of your conference 1 time. You guys are sick of hearing that. It's 19 games in the regular season. But for the new people here, it's got to be said, it's got to be done, got to be known down there on the ice. Delmarva Dandy Pope still holding their spot. There's no position updating here from the boys in green. Open also having a lot of teams not moving around. West is just going to be an entire story on itself. Let me just tell you that. It's going to be wild. We got a lot to cover from the West Division. But for now, Intermediate Division, Delmarva Dandy Popes having the 3rd best record, tied with the Pennsylvania Pythons there in the Baguette Conference at the top of your screen. The Omelet Conference, I get these confused every time. Omelet Conference on the top, Baguette Conference on the bottom. Right now, the Northern Hills Voodoo have the automatic bye position going into the Challenger Division. If they do want it at the end of the season, that is up to them. If they don't want to take the Challenger spot, I mean, well, it kind of sucks to be you, disband. There's really no other way to put it. But, you know, if they get the spot, they get the spot. If they don't, they don't. They might not be playing next season. I hope they do. Northern Hills Voodoo, very great team, really good chemistry across their core 3, and I think they're exactly what a Challenger team is supposed to be. They got chemistry, they got the ability to shoot, they got the ability to save, and they just wanted a warm-up season. I think they're back for good. No confirmation between Gubby, Capkin, or Myth, but I think they're here to stay. That's just my speculation, but take that with a grain of salt and take it as you will. But of course, right now, Northern Hills Voodoo, first place, have the automatic bye into Challenger. Following them are the Buffalo Buffaloes. Buffaloes also caught up in a bit of conspiracy. That we'll get into that in a few seconds with the Phoenix Onions in a moment. I was going to have Pino on as a guest here today, but, well, Discord decided to die. So, there's that. But, yeah, Neapolitans, right now, the way that the promotional series will work, I have a graphic made. I don't have it set up. We'll have it ready for tomorrow, though. First place with a better record automatically buys into the Challenger Division. They would have played 10th place, but there's not a team to play in that position anymore. So they just automatically promote. The worst record out of the 2 first place teams will be playing 9th place in a best of 3. And winner of that moves into Challenger. Loser of that remains or goes into the Intermediate Division come Season 6. Between the 2 second-place teams, the better record plays the opposite conference's 3rd place. So the Buffalo Buffaloes right now would be playing the Charlotte Wildcats, and the winner of that best of 3 moves on to play 8th place, which right now are the Boston Baked Beans. And then vice versa, the opposite side around, the team with the worst record, the worst seed, are the Pennsylvania Pythons with 20 standing points. They would be playing the opposite 3rd place, which are the Napoleon Neapolitans down there in the Baguettes Conference. I'm getting it. But yeah, those 2 teams would play a best of 3. Winner goes on to play 7th place of Challenger in another best of 3. Winner of that game would move on to Challenger. Loser stays in or goes into IM come season number 6. But with that being said, we're going to go down to the Open Division. Don't know how the Intermediate Conference is going to work whenever it comes to that promotional series. Open going into IM. That's a later problem. It's not on my plate right now. That's this week's problem. Of course, there is a 1-spot gap from the IM spot since the Chicago Slap Daddies ended up disbanding during the season before the roster lock. There is a gap in the promotional bracket, so we got to figure out how to make that fair and just, and we might just do something along the same lines as the Challenger promotional series, but don't pin me for any of my words on that quite yet. Okinawa Generation still first place. Austin Alligators, I think, gained a spot. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct, but Austin Alligators second place right now. Charleston Ice Cats in 3rd, and then Kentucky Karens in 4th. 1 game down are both the Nakonics and the Red Hots. Nakonics, of course, taking over a team that disbanded during the season after being removed from 4 forfeited games. Nashville Nakonics went 7-1 so far this season and are looking to get back in the playoff fixture, and I think they might do it. I think they got the gumption to get it done, and Poltergeist Pickle really leading his team to glory down there on the ice in the Benders Conference. But looking at the Dusters Conference now, Hartford Wolves still in a playoff spot. A lot of movement here. Crafton Crabs moving up over the New York Quack. Sorry, there's a speck on my screen and it made it look like a very different word that would not be great if I uttered. But Craft and Crabs right now, 8th place, going over not only the Pennsylvania Petards after they have disbanded, but also the New York Quack. Craft and Crabs just looking to get a better seeding coming into next season with these last few playing for Pride games. They have the most games remaining here in the season alongside the Sheboygan Jumbo Shrimp. Sheboygan Jumbo Shrimp having a bit of scheduling difficulties, as is in the tickets. Not a lot I'm allowed to say there, as most of all information inside of tickets are confidential and must be approved to be passed out freely. But Hot Springs Hot Tamales taking first place here coming into week number 6. They got 1 game remaining. Massachusetts Puckin' Monkeys having 3 games remaining right now in second place. 1 game back from that first seed. Of course, between both of these conferences, your first seed will play your 4th seed in a best of 3 scenario. Winner goes on to play an intermediate position. Not sure what that's going to be yet. We might have to add an extra round between the first place seeds to see who's going to get the bye, who's going to have to play for their spot against an IM team. I'm not sure yet. That's a later problem once again. Of course, 2nd and 3rd place will also be playing against each other for a chance against the 6th place teams out of the intermediate conferences. Yeah, that's really what it was. 1st and 4th, we're going to play 7th, and 2nd and 3rd are going to be playing 6th place here in Open. And now for the can of beans. Everybody's been talking about the Western Division. What is happening? I think we had 13 teams at the beginning of the season. We're down to 9 after controversy, after cheating, after captains giving up, after teams just not playing games. And Edmonton Beauties right now first place in the Western Division, having the deal breaker out of the Malibu Moguls. Yeah, we got 7 teams now. Wow, I just can't do math. Pino, thank you for catching me on that. Yeah, Honolulu Lemon's the only team to be remaining in the same spot after last night's wiles of stories. Edmonton Beauties getting an extra 2 points, getting that tiebreaker back over Malibu. Malibu Moguls now in second place with a 12-1 record, the same as the Edmonton Beauties. Oregon Capybaras right now 8-5 on the season, having the deal breaker over the Dallas Starts because of the head-to-head record, I believe. Dallas Starts moving down to 5th place. Capybaras right now in 4th. Churchill Polar Bears moving over the Phoenix Onions after the removal of that team in the Western Division, and more details to come on that at the end of the broadcast. Saving the best for last year today, as we got a lot to talk about whenever it comes to that. I was really hoping Pino was going to be here to help me tell the story, but it's a wild one. I don't know how much of it I'm allowed to talk about, but I'm going to talk about whatever comes to mind, basically. Vancouver Conditioners with the couple forfeit points move over top the Bermuda Breakaway and the Yuma Dust Bunnies. Yuma Dust Bunnies disbanding, I think it was last night, and Bermuda Breakaway also removed, I think the same day as the Yuma Dust Bunnies. But yeah, Phoenix Onions also taking the ride on the short bus as they exit SPL promptly because of, well, we might as well just get into it. No, wait, we still got to go over today's matches. We got one more segment, and then we'll get into that can of beans. Coming up at 8 o'clock tonight, Ocean City Typhoons taking on the Columbus Clappers. At 8:30, we got the Orlando Otters taking on the Columbus Clappers. And at 9 o'clock, Columbus Clappers, Yosemite Grizzlies, capping off their triple treat here tonight. Following that match, at the same time, actually, the West Virginia Orangutans will be taking on the Plymouth Plague. After that match has concluded, Plymouth Plague facing off against the Pittsburgh Vipers. And 9:30, at the same time as the Vipers and Plague game, we got the Grizzlies, we got the Orangutans. The fight of the jungle. The 2 teams down in a relegation position taking on one another here at 9:30. It's going to be a grudge match at the same time as 2nd and 3rd place will be playing against each other. The Vipers, Plague, Grizzlies, Orangutans. That's prime time slap shot right there. But I don't know if I'm around here tonight, so I'm not claiming any games. I'm going to see if there's a few other members of the casting community here around to try to pick up a few loose ends. Not sure how faithful I am in that category, but I'm going to see if anyone's around for it, in case I am not. Of course, at 10 o'clock, the last game of the evening here in the Pro Division. Pro, all these games are pro. I don't know how this happened, but the Pro Division falling behind in games played. They're trying to catch up yesterday and today, playing basically half a season in like 8 days, I think it is. But yeah, Plymouth Plague here at 10 o'clock taking on the Yosemite Grizzlies. Going to be a tight one, going to be a tough one. It's going to be interesting nonetheless, and hopefully I'm around for it. If I'm not, it is what it is, and we'll march on to the tune of our own drum. But with that being said, back into the breaking news. Yeah, day 5 of no lobby chat. As our first topic, here's lobby chat. There have been moves to bring it back soon. The administration of the league is still discussing the further details of what needs to be done before the text channel is opened back up to the public. As of the current state, there will be there will be more strict mute guidelines held after the lobby is reopened, alongside a list of members that will be muted at the relaunch of the text channel. Because of the Discord outage, a temporary halt has been made on the movements of bringing back lobby chat. We do not have an official ETA on when lobby chat will be back, but we will be hoping. We're hoping to get it done between this evening and tomorrow night. That's our target right now. Not sure if it's going to be met, but that's what we're going for and hoping for right here and now. Of course, Discord, I think, is still down. I'm not entirely sure. It is in fact still down. So until that comes back up, we can't make any ground, and we can't really make any progression towards the return of the text chat. But for the Phoenix Onions, this story, it was a wild goose chase. The staff, it was basically like me and Pino alongside Snail, M-Dub, and Irvion. We were going through a wild, we were going through every hoop we had to jump through to try and figure out what the story was between, the story all started back whenever the Phoenix Onions and Capybaras played Sunday evening, I believe it was. There's a player that skated on the ice for the Phoenix Onions under the alias Not Sam, was not Sam. That doesn't feel like proper English, but I don't know how else to word it. It was 5 tireless hours of investigation of trying to figure out what this can of beans was really all about. But there was somebody else skating under the alias Not Sam, which is strictly prohibited in multiple sections of Rule 401. If you want to check that out, spl.gg, it's on the very top right of your screen. The player handbook has all the rules we follow in the league. We reached out to the Onions captain for a response, but he refused to answer any questions over the past 23 hours. Past 22 hours because, well, you can't right now. But his refusal to answer questions just really doesn't help his case at all. It really makes us speculate about his validity as a captain and what tactics he's going alongside, because the Onions have been caught in 2 separate occasions of rule breaking in the past week. So, keeping a close eye on them. Because of that, this kind of thing popped up. But the player linked to the Slapshot ID that skated on the ice and the Steam account that skated on the ice that evening has been banned from the league indefinitely. Never planning to bring them back. Doesn't really matter what happens. But I don't think they really cared, because whenever we looked into it, they had 2 games played on their entire career, on top of their VAC ban on their Steam account. They had 2 games played in their entirety of Slapshot Rebound. So I don't think they really cared to get banned, and because of that, I don't think it really matters a whole lot. But they are banned for what it's worth. And yeah, the match against the Capybaras have been washed and forfeited, as this is the Onions' 4th forfeit of the season. They have been removed from the Western Division. An investigation will of course continue, and if the players refuse to cooperate with the investigation, further action may be taken against them. Not Sam has not been found involved in this scenario, so they will not be punished or taken action against. They can still compete in the intermediate division pretty freely. Unless something else arises that we haven't seen yet, that will be the case coming into the last week of the regular season. They play on the Buffalo Buffaloes, Noah having them as a starter, as P Money really doesn't want to play the game anymore. So part of the core 3 of the Buffalo Buffaloes, right now they're 2nd place, and it will be heartbreaking if Not Same ends up getting penalized for whatever the Onions had going on over in West. But yeah, I think that's the most part. I think that's everything on my script. But let me just say that the integrity of the league is always put first and foremost when assessing situations like these. And we'll continue to do our best to provide an even playing field for all the players and all skill levels, because that's just what we're here to do. We're here to make sure open players can play against open players. We're here to make sure intermediates against intermediate, pros against pro, and we're not letting pro players play in open. Let me just say that again. We're not letting pro players play in open for any reason. Doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter. We're here to provide an even playing field for all skill levels. It doesn't matter. And if you're caught doing that, well, good luck. I hope that you have got an anime on your side, because we do. Yeah, but because of this whole thing, we're going to be keeping an eye on the Buffaloes just in case something happens. I don't think it will. Noah's a great captain. I've known him for quite a while now. So I don't think anything shady is going to come out of the Buffaloes' corner of the ring. But just in case it does, we're going to be keeping an eye on them. Just about everything they're doing, we're going to keep an eye on it. And we'll update you guys if we have any further information about it. But, yeah, we got a big week here coming up. A lot of games to be played. A lot of questions to be answered, and hopefully lobby chat is back soon. Hopefully Discord's back soon. That's like my entire livelihood right on the line right there. You can see yeah, it's actually all right. So I don't know if Pino's allowed me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Whenever Discord went down, we were in the middle of figuring out a list of people who we need to mute before we reinstate lobby chat, and as soon as we started talking about it, everything went down. I was almost ready to phone Snail to tell him to try to get a hold of MDub and get rid of my league admin role, because I thought I was hacked. I thought I got DDoSed. I thought I got not doxed. That's completely different. But I thought I was getting DDoSed, or maybe my account, token got hacked. And so I was one press of a button away from calling Snail and trying to figure that out. But as soon as I did that, I'm thinking, I think this has happened before. So I went on to Discord's Twitter account, and of course, there's a lot of replies to tweets at them that Discord was down. I don't think it's back yet. I could be mistaken. Let's see. No, it's still down. No updates as of right now. Their last update was whenever we went live, saying that on-call engineers are continuing to investigate the root cause of the issue. We have engaged our partners and are preparing contingencies to restore service. That's a big word. That's a big word for me, man. But yeah, so I will say this: on Saturday we're going to have a special podcast where I'll be interviewing Skiztastic here at our 2 o'clock hour. Finding a open slot on his time slot was really the determining factor in the delay of the week. But yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be grand. I think we got a lot to talk about and a lot of questions that I want answered about what happened during roster lock. So if you're interested in that as well, Saturday we'll be doing the same format we do already, and then at the end of it, which would be about right now, we'll bring Skiztastic in and we'll get some questions and polls from the audience. But yeah, until then, that's going to do it here for SPL Post to Post. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow at 2 o'clock sharp Eastern Standard Time, just like we were today. And yeah, we'll break every news we can to you at home and try to keep you up to date. And it's back now, is it? Is it indeed? All right, we can resume negotiations with the Trade Federation. How you like them apples? But yeah, again, that's going to do it here this evening. Thank you guys for tuning in to SPL Post to Post. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you guys tonight. But catch you guys on the flip-flop.